When we think of the Olympics, we picture athletes pushing the limits of human potential, heartwarming moments of unity and dazzling displays of cultural pride. But beneath the shimmering veneer of this global spectacle lies a history riddled with scandal, corruption, and downright bizarre happenings. Brace yourself as we dive into the shadowy corners of the Olympic Games. Before we go into the video, please smash the like button and subscribe to the channel 1, the Nazi Olympics of 1936. Let's start with one of the most infamous Olympics in history, the 1936 Berlin Games. Hosted by Adolf Hitler's Nazi regime, these games were a propaganda tool to showcase Aryan supremacy. Hitler hoped the event would prove his ideology of racial superiority. Instead, African-American athlete Jesse Owens stole the show, winning 4 gold medals and shattering the Nazi myth. But the fact remains that the Olympics were a platform for one of history's most heinous regimes to promote its twisted ideology. Number 2. The 1972 Munich Massacre. The 1972 Munich Olympics are remembered not for the athletic achievements but for a horrifying act of terrorism. A Palestinian militant group, Black September, kidnapped and eventually murdered 11 Israeli athletes and coaches. The games were suspended for 34 hours but then resumed, a decision that sparked outrage and controversy. The security failures and the tragic outcome exposed the vulnerabilities of the supposedly peaceful event. Number 3. Doping scandals galore. The Olympics have long been plagued by doping scandals, but few are as shocking as the state-sponsored doping program of East Germany in the 1970s and 1980s. Athletes were unknowingly given performance-enhancing drugs, leading to numerous health issues later in life. More recently, the 2016 Rio Olympics saw the Russian doping scandal, where a whistleblower revealed a widespread state-run doping scheme that affected hundreds of athletes. Trust in fair play? Think again. Number 4. The costly price tag. Hosting the Olympics is seen as a prestigious honor, but it's also a financial black hole. Take the 2004 Athens Olympics, for example. Greece spent a whopping $15 billion, leading to severe economic repercussions that contributed to the country's financial crisis. The 2016 Rio Olympics weren't any better, with the city left in debt, abandoned venues, and a slew of unfulfilled promises to local communities. The glittering event often leaves a trail of economic devastation. Number 5. Environmental havoc. The Olympics are also notorious for their environmental impact. The construction of venues and infrastructure often leads to massive deforestation, pollution, and displacement of local communities. The 2020 Tokyo Olympics, held in 2021 due to the pandemic, were criticized for their impact on local ecosystems and the displacement of residents to build new facilities. The green initiatives promised by organizers often fall short of making a real difference. Number 6. Human rights violations. Human rights abuses are another dark chapter in Olympic history. The 2008 Beijing Olympics saw a massive crackdown on dissent, with thousands of activists, journalists, and ordinary citizens detained or silenced. The Chinese government used the event to project an image of modernity and power while suppressing any form of opposition. The International Olympic Committee, IOC, often turns a blind eye to such issues, prioritizing spectacle over ethics.
Number 7. The curse of the Winter Olympics. The Winter Olympics have their share of eerie incidents, but none as bizarre as the curse of the Lake Placid Games. In 1980, the small town of Lake Placid, New York, hosted the Winter Olympics for the second time. Following the event, the town experienced a series of misfortunes, including economic downturns, infrastructure issues, and even mysterious deaths. Some locals believe the games brought a curse to their idyllic community. Number 8. Political boycotts and controversies. The Olympics are often a stage for political drama. The 1980 Moscow Olympics were boycotted by 65 countries, including the United States, in protest of the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. In retaliation, the Soviet Union and 14 Eastern Bloc countries boycotted the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics. These boycotts not only marred the spirit of the Games, but also deprived many athletes of their chance to compete on the world stage. Number 9. The curse of the Olympic flame. The Olympic flame is a symbol of peace and unity, but its journey is often fraught with mishaps. From being extinguished multiple times due to bad weather to bizarre incidents like the flame being attacked by protesters, the torch relay is anything but smooth. In 2008, during the Beijing Olympics torch relay, Activists protesting China's human rights record repeatedly disrupted the relay, leading to chaotic scenes and heightened security. Number 10. The exploitation of athletes. Behind the glory and medals, many Olympic athletes face exploitation. Training for the Olympics requires immense dedication and financial support, which many athletes struggle to secure. Sponsorship deals and endorsements often favor a select few, leaving many talented competitors in financial strain. The pressure to perform can also lead to mental health issues, with little support from organizing bodies. The dream of Olympic glory often comes at a high personal cost.
Number 11. The dark underbelly of the athlete village, the Olympic Village, where athletes from around the world live during the Games, has its own set of controversies. Despite being a symbol of international camaraderie, it's often a hotbed for scandalous behavior. Reports of excessive partying, substance abuse, and even sexual misconduct frequently surface. In Rio 2016, over 450,000 condoms were distributed to athletes, earning it the nickname Condom Olympics. While it's important to unwind, the wild antics sometimes overshadow the sportsmanship the Games are supposed to embody. Number 12. Questionable judging and scoring. The integrity of judging at the Olympics has often been called into question. Controversial decisions have sparked outrage among athletes and fans alike. The most infamous example is probably the figure skating scandal at the 2002 Salt Lake City Winter Olympics. A French judge admitted to being pressured to favor the Russian pair over the Canadian pair, resulting in a massive scandal that led to both pairs eventually being awarded gold medals. Biased judging undermines the spirit of fair competition and casts a shadow over the achievements of athletes. Number 13. Child exploitation and underage athletes. The pressure to win has led some countries to exploit young athletes, pushing them into intense training regimes at an early age. The 2008 Beijing Olympics brought attention to underage gymnasts from China. Investigations revealed that some athletes were under the minimum age requirement, raising concerns about their welfare and the ethical implications of such practices. These young athletes often face immense physical and emotional strain, with their childhood sacrificed for the sake of medals. Number 14. Corruption in the IOC. The International Olympic Committee, IOC itself, has been embroiled in numerous corruption scandals. Bribery allegations have tainted the bid processes for several games. The most notable case involved the Salt Lake City bid for the 2002 Winter Olympics, where it was revealed that IOC members had accepted gifts and favors in exchange for their votes. Such corruption undermines the credibility of the organization that oversees the Games. Number 15. The impact on local communities. The rush to build infrastructure for the Olympics often comes at a severe cost to local communities. Forced evictions and displacement are common, with residents pushed out to make way for new stadiums and facilities. The Rio 2016 Olympics saw entire neighborhoods demolished, leaving many homeless or relocated to inadequate housing. These actions disproportionately affect the poorest and most vulnerable, raising serious ethical concerns. The Olympics, with all their pomp and pageantry, are far from the flawless celebration of human spirit they are often portrayed to be. The event's history is rife with corruption, exploitation, and ethical dilemmas that tarnish its golden image. As we continue to support and watch the Games, it's crucial to remain aware of these underlying issues. By acknowledging and addressing these dark aspects, we can push for a future where the Olympics truly embody the values of fairness, unity, and excellence they claim to represent.